Hi there. In this ProjeQtOr video, we'll quickly look at adding milestones to our projects. Milestones are very similar to activities, except they don't have a duration. So it doesn't take any amount of time for the milestone to be completed. It's just a milestone that happens. But we can also tie them to activities. So the activity that they have a dependency with, of course, can have a duration. So I'm going to quickly add a milestone for the project start. So I'll choose milestone and the little plus sign, just like adding anything in ProjeQtOr, and I'll say project start. I'm going to make this a key date. We have three types here: deliverables, incoming, key dates. This is when a deliverable is met. This is a key date, basically when something's supposed to happen, and then incoming is if we're expecting material resources or work resources, they'll be incoming. So I'm going to make this a key date, and for the progress, I'll add the due date, which is the same as the project start. I'm going to make this a fixed milestone, and I'm going to give it a color. I like to give things color, and I'll save it. Then we can see what happens on our planning screen, our Gantt chart. So there's our project start there. So if I move the project start date, so I'll just quickly move it up to the 14th. You see the milestone remains because it's fixed. It's not floating. It's not tied to any activity. I'm just going to move this back. There we go. Now I'm going to add one for, I'll make it a deliverable, and I will make it dependent on something being completed. So maybe I'll make it the frame finished. So that'll be a deliverable. Once we're finished with frame, that deliverable is met, and I'll make it I'll have the milestone attached to that task there, and I'll make it floating. So we'll see basically the details with that. This one will be a deliverable as well. So after paint frame, so I don't need to know about the, I don't have to be aware of the date, I just have to be aware of the activity. So I'll go to milestones, I'll create a new milestone. You can use this plus sign down here too if you like, and I'll say frame finished. I'll leave it as deliverable this time, and it will be a floating milestone, so it will move with that activity. And then the dependency, I'll make it the predecessor. Sorry, add the predecessor. I just have to save this first. There we go, and add the predecessor. And I'll find my frame there. Paint frame, and it will be when that frame is painted, that milestone will appear. We can make it end as well for a milestone, or end start is actually, either one of these will work just fine. I'll make it end. That's the end of the milestone, and I'll choose OK. So if I go look at my planning and quickly calculate capacity planning, you'll see that milestone happens on the same day as the paint frame is finished. It's only one day, but if it was 2 days, it would be on the second day. So what I'm going to quickly do is add some delay to the beginning of paint frame. For example, maybe we're waiting for the paint to arrive or something like that. So I'm going to choose that activity, and I'll choose paint frame, And then for its predecessor, I'll modify that link, and I'll say maybe we have to wait for 2 days for the paint to arrive at the shop or something like that. We choose OK. I go back to planning here, calculate capacity planning, and you see that since we added the paint frame as a dependency, the frame finished the milestone, and then we push that down in time with the delay, the milestone moved with it. So that's what happens when you add a dependency to a milestone as well as make it a floating milestone. So it's dynamic to an actual activity, whereas this is a fixed date. The project starts on the 1st. We can have a fixed date for the end as well, but I would actually make the end a dependency for the very last task of the project. So that's adding milestones, both fixed and floating, fixed date and deliverables. Thanks so much for watching.